Hey there, everyone. Before I begin, some of y'all have been telling me that some of my videos don't display properly on mobile, like it's not stretched correctly. I think I finally figured out the way to fix that, so let me know in the comments if it's now full screening on mobile when you watch the videos. But anyway, I'm going to be going back to the Ultros trial and showing an example how to clear it, because it's going to be coming to global soon. The previous time I did it with like future units we're not going to have for a long time, like Barts and such. This time I'm going to be going more of like a tutorial and showing you how to do it with the mechanics and all that, using only units that Global currently has. So for this, we're going to be using C-Card for passively provoking, and he's got Calamity Border to give us resistances. Now your Provoker wants 100% fire resist, if possible, while everyone else wants as much as you can get lightning, water, and wind resist. And your physical cover tank wants earth resist. So my gear is a little bit limited on the Japanese server, but I'm working with what I have. So C card's got some resistances, not quite enough, but good enough, for what I need. And you want immunity to all these status ailments, if possible, or all the important ones. Fina is going to be my healer. She's got some decent resistances across the board. She's got high spirit, and she's got immunity to the status effects as well. Nicole is going to be my buffer. He's got status immunity, and he's got some good resistances. Lightning, water, wind, earth. The only person that needs fire is your provoker, unless you're slow at DPS. If your damage is low, the whole team needs fire resist, and I'll explain that more in phase 2. Wilhelm's going to be my physical cover tank. Now, any physical cover tank is fine. Now, one note is you can't use evasion because Ultros or Orthos ignores evasion on a few of his attacks. Now, you'll notice my tank is actually pretty bad on resistances. I couldn't really fit resistance as well as high defense, but the physical cover tank, the most important thing is very good defense. But I think with his spirit, he'll be okay. And one more thing you'll notice is he's wearing a wind and an earth weapon. You have to be able to seal wind, earth, and holy, or light, on the second fight. And I'll get into more of that later. But he's going to be sealing it with counterattacks. Sephiroth is going to be our DPS. Now he's got some good resistances. He's not quite immune to the statuses because I just couldn't fit it, as well as keeping his damage good. But he's using non-elemental weapons. And he can imbue himself with holy for the holy attack. You'll notice I'm using some equipment that's not available on global quite yet, but the idea is the same. But just bring your best DPS you can. And the friend is another Sephiroth, same thing, high resistances, mostly status immune, not entirely. The only thing that status immune is really required for your DPS is confusion. You don't want your DPS being confused, but the rest of the statuses are, you can cure them with your healer. Alright, so there's going to be an ambush when we go in, which is going to be an Earth AoE attack. It's magnitude 8, it ignores evasion, and it's Earth element. So as long as you have good Earth resist, you shouldn't die. Now some of my units have low Earth resist, for example my Sephiroth, but that's not really a problem. Now Ultros will be rotating between various elemental immunities and weaknesses. He imperils himself to some and goes resistant to the others. He'll also alternate between physical and magical immunity every 2 turns. I'm just keeping my Sephiroths with non-elemental. I'm going to kind of ignore the whole elemental gimmick. So Sephiroth will just begin building stacks on Supremacy, which is going to deal no damage because he starts off magic immune, but it'll start building the stacks. Wilhelm will give us physical cover. C-Card is going to do Calamity Border. Now, the boss on his first turn is going to do Aqua Breath and a bunch of tentacle attacks. Now, I've been updating the global wiki page for this boss fight, and I've got the exact turn rotations laid out on the wiki, so you can follow that along. So we're going to go ahead and use a mitigation buff with Nicole, and it's going to be a water attack on turn 1, so we're going to use a water resist buff. Now, my Nicole is enhanced. Global doesn't have his enhancements yet, but nothing I can do about that. And Fina is going to, heal. And we're going to re-raise Wilhelm because Ultros really hurts with his tentacle attacks. Now, I think Wilhelm's going to be okay here, but You'll see, the boss does a whole lot of damage. Oh, and he drains mana on the person he's attacking as well, which is quite annoying. Alright, so next turn is going to be an earth attack and another water attack and a bunch of things and a gravity attack. Alright, so first off, we're going to go ahead and do this, even though it doesn't do anything. Oh, and the boss is completely immune to breaks, too. Breaks do not work on this fight. And now I'm going to use Fina to mana regen and stat buff. Now, of course, the Fina on Global can't dual cast our abilities, which I realized. But, you know. I mean, I'm using what I can. So we're going to mana regen, which will give Seacard enough mana to recast Calamity Border, just for all the resistances. And there's the Earth attack, but now Wilhelm's immune because of the Earth resist. And then Seacard gets totally drained from mana. So Seacard's pretty much going to be out of the fight, other than just passively provoking, which is fine. He's actually more for later in the fight than right now. And there's the gravity attack. It looked like an Earth attack, it was actually gravity. Alright, so next is going to be Acid Rain, another Aqua Breath. Alright, and the boss changed his immunities. He's now changed his resistances, changed his weaknesses, but now he should be resistant to magic and not physical. So this should now hurt the boss. A little bit, not much. So Wilhelm will just do that. Fina will heal. And we're going to keep re-raise on Wilhelm. We'll just keep guarding Seacard. And it's going to be a water attack, so we're going to water resist. And we will regeneration as well. Alright, so this is the third turn of the rotation. It's Acid Rain. Acid Rain is wind and water. Alright, and there is the Acid Rain, the little yellow. And then you drain Seacard dry, but that's okay. You know, Seacard's still passively provoking, that's all we really care about. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and chain with Sephiroth again. And their stacks are building up slowly. These two will just keep, really Wilhelm will just keep covering every turn. This is turn 4, it's going to be another gravity attack and it's an Aqua Breath. So phase 1 is relatively tame, as you'll notice. Let's do stats and resist. And we lost our mitigation buff with Nicole, so we'll recast that. And here's the tentacle attacks. Ultros counterattacks every single attack with a Octo Tentacle. Now the damage can be covered by a physical tank, but the mana drain always happens. You'll notice they keep mana draining our Sephiroth. That's why Fina is keeping her mana regen ability going, so we're not really worried about that too much. Folka is a good choice as well, if you want to have her for mana regen. So the boss now went back to, that's a gravity attack. You know, it looks like wind, but it's actually not. It's non-elemental gravity. It always does, I think, 80% of your health before mitigation. And now we've got 2 more turns of physical resist. This is kind of annoying. Alright, so we'll go ahead and just keep stacking those. This is turn 5. He's going to... he's going to use a fixed attack that we're going to cover with Wilhelm. It's a fixed damage. It's a physical attack with fixed damage. I know it's kind of a strange mechanic. But Wilhelm's going to cover because it's actually going to hit kind of hard. It's going to be cast on Seacard, but it's going to hit Wilhelm. Let's see. Let's go ahead and... Actually, we don't need that yet. Let's do this and a regeneration. And then other than that, it's just going to be an Earth attack and Aqua Breath. Alright, there's the counters. And then the fixed attack, because Wilhelm's guarding with all the mitigation, the cover mitigation, dealt like no damage. But I mean, it would have done more if he wasn't having all those mitigations stacked up. So this is turn 6. This is the last turn of the rotation. This is going to be an Earth Magnitude 8, Aqua Breath, Acid Rain, and a Gravity attack at the end of the turn. And this is the last turn of Physical Immunity before he rotates again. So we'll put Wilhelm back on cover. We'll use Fina to keep giving us those resist and mana regen. And Nicole will, let's see, water resist and just mitigation. Yes, this is a little slow doing it this way because you're supposed to like bring mages and physical, and that way you can damage the boss. You know, alternating, but you can go with just non-elemental if you want to. I find it easier that way. You know, if you want to follow along his resistance rotation, like maybe with some imbue units or something, that's fine. Or units that can just naturally deal different elements. Like, you know, maybe a mage with multiple elements in their kit. Those are good too. Alright, so that was turn 6. Now the rotation starts over again. Now he's back on the turn 1 of the rotation. All he's going to do this turn is an Aqua Breath. So let's go ahead and chain on the boss. Now that our abilities are stacked up, we're doing more damage. Fina will, let's see, heal and re-raise. And we'll just repeat with Nicole. So this is basically the rotation. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward the video until the boss is at 50%. Oh, there was unfortunate. Wilhelm was slow at covering one of the counters, so Sephiroth got hit. That'll happen sometime. Your tank's only got a 75% chance to activate cover, so some attacks will slip through. It's not too big a deal. But yeah, so I'm going to fast forward the video until we get to 50% to show you the next part of the fight. Because the fight stays the same with the 6th turn rotation until 50%. So I'll see you shortly. Alright guys, so we're about to push the boss to below 50%, and I'll just show you, how the fight changes below 50%. So here the boss is now at 41, so he's going to start doing a few extra attacks that he's not been doing previously. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and just do our usual buffs with these people. So below 40%, this turn he's not going to do anything. We're on turn 2 of the rotation. Turn 13 was the first, it's a 12-turn rotation. Wilhelm was very slow at covering that time, that sucked. But we got regeneration. So this is the 2nd turn of the rotation where he does Magnitude 8 and Aqua Breath. And then he's going to do the Gravity attack at the end of the round. So starting next turn, he's going to do something a little bit different if we can get him below 40%. And he is physical weak, so that's good. He randomly changes to what his resistances, and he's currently cooperating, which is quite nice. So now that he's below 40, alright. So let's go ahead and refresh all our buffs before we get into this. Fina is going to heal and re-raise on Wilhelm. And I'm going to just have Nicole do double mana regen, because the mana drain's really taking its toll on our DPS. Fina's not quite keeping up. Folk could be a lot better here. But this is turn 3 of the rotation. So because he's below 40%, he's going to use Berserk on the highest attack power unit at the end of his round. But it can be provoked. So it's going to Berserk C-Card instead. Now you'll notice for this whole fight, C-Card's been just sitting there, just doing nothing whatsoever. But now C-Card can start soaking those Berserk spores. As you see, he's now Berserk. And that's okay. And now this is turn 4 of the rotation. Let's see. So the boss is going to heal himself at the end of this round, which is kind of annoying. Alright, let's go ahead and get our chaining in before we do anything else. Alright, so we're going to refresh Wilhelm's cover. Fina is going to, let's see, do resist and mana regen, and Nicole will go back to casting mitigation and heal over time. Okay, draining all our mana. It's kind of annoying. So here's the boss's heal. All we've got to do is turn first. He's going to do the gravity attack, magnitude 8, aqua breath, tentacles, hailstone, and then the heal at the end. Yeah, these turns are very scripted. You know exactly what's coming. There's the gravity, and then the heal at the end. Ooh. Let's hope he didn't go immune to physical. Let's see if we got lucky or not. Oh, physical resist. Okay, good to know. Alright, so this is going to be turn 5 in the rotation. Now, below 50% health, when the boss does his turn 5 in the rotation, he's going to do haste and a bunch of extra tentacle attacks. So we're going to use Wilhelm's cooldown to survive this. Alright, so the Sephiroths are going to just... I don't want to lose my stacks. Here, we're just going to cast a heal. There's no point in attacking. Just because it's cheap on mana and it won't trigger a counter. Alright, so we're going to heal and re-raise Wilhelm. He's not going to die with his cooldown up, but it is quite a bit of damage. We'll go ahead and just mana regen. Alright, so at the end of the round, you'll see plenty of tentacle attacks. Here's the magnitude 8, aqua breath, and then his normal tentacle attacks. And then he's going to haste himself right there, and then a bunch more tentacle attacks. Now, because Wilhelm's got his 90% mitigation up, we took like basically 0 damage. So if you don't have a mitigation available for that turn, just guard. Alright, so the boss is physical resist. So we're going to, again, not really bother attacking him. We'll go cover back up. Let's guard Sieg. And this is the rotation. You know, on the turn 5 of the rotation, below 50%, he does that haste with a bunch of tentacle attacks. And then on turn 6 and turn 3 of the rotation, below 50%, below 40%, he's going to do Berserk. So you'll see Seaguard get Berserked again at the end of the round. And that's pretty much the rotation for below 50 and 40 of the first fight. And then here comes the gravity and then Berserk. No big deal. Alright, so I'm going to fast forward the video again to, what's it called? Until we're about to kill him and go on to the next phase. So I'll see you guys shortly. Alright guys, so the boss just changed rotations again. We're ready to finish him off, it looks like. So what we're going to do is we're going to heal up before we do this, because we don't want to go into the next fight harmed. So we're going to heal up. Nicole is going to top off our mana. And we're going to go ahead and chain. But now we're going to go into the next fight. With everybody nice and healed, full on mana, except for Sieg. Now this is going to be another ambush. This is going to be a lightning ambush and non-elemental magic. Alright, so here's the non-elemental. It hurts quite a bit. And there's the lightning. So we lost our DPS. That's kind of to be expected. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to kill Typhon as soon as possible. So for this first turn, you don't need to seal him. And let me focus on Typhon down here. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to, with Fina, we're going to raise everyone and heal. And re-raise. Now the first turn, like I said, you don't need to seal. You just need to put up your buffs and such. So Wilhelm's going to cover. Seaguard is going to do Calamity Border. And Nicole is going to give us mitigation and I think it's water damage on this first turn. But I'm going to do stats instead. Alright, so here's some attacks. Alright, so what Typhon did is he used an ability. You need to seal him with earth damage. Now, hopefully Wilhelm counters. If not, we can just attack with Wilhelm. All right, Wilhelm did not attack Typhon, so we'll just punch with Wilhelm. That seals Earth. All right, Sephiroth is going to imbue himself with Holy and start chaining on the boss. Now, of course, Sephiroth can't dual cast his abilities on Global quite yet. You would just use the normal imbue for now. Fina is going to give us a resist all and a mana regen. Alright, let's go ahead and chain on Typhon. We want to get Typhon dead as soon as possible. Okay, nice. Now Sieg will just guard for now. And Nicole will... Let's see, we did stat to mitigation. Let's do resist and mana regen. So we sealed Typhon with earth damage that turn. Next turn, we need to seal him with wind damage. And again, Wilhelm is using a wind and an earth weapon. And as you can see, it's really painful. And here's the gravity attack. It's always at the end of the round, so it's okay. You know, the gravity will never kill you. Unless you're using a magic cover tank, which I don't recommend, because that will kill your tank. Alright, so as you saw, Wilhelm countered Typhon. So he technically took wind damage, but just in case you're not using a counterattack, we're going to attack anyway, as if we didn't seal him. Now we're going to go ahead and chain just on Typhon. We want to kill Typhon as soon as possible. But if you can't kill him before turn 7, he will do a fire attack on your whole team, which is not a disaster as long as you're sealing, as long as you have fire resistance. And Fina, let's see, we'll go ahead and heal and re-raise on Wilhelm. Now you'll notice as well, C card is being imperiled to ailments. Notice all his ailment resistances have been imperiled. So even though he's wearing like a ribbon effect, he's actually wearing Fina's helmet, but the ribbon effect, he's still getting ailments. So he's got sleep and poison on him. That's why he like passes provoke, because he's still provoking even though he's slept and poisoned. So he's just absorbing all those attacks for us. Now how are we doing here with Nicole? Nicole is going to give us a regeneration boost. And let's refresh his good mitigation. And this next turn we need to seal Typhon with Holy Element, but we're going to be doing that with the Sephiroths who are currently using Holy with their imbue. Okay. Now, one thing you do need to watch for is if your tank gets petrified, because petrified tanks will not counterattack, or will not passively provoke, my bad. So as long as C card is not petrified, you know, we don't really care what's going on with him. Alright, so petrified, no petrified, he's confused, but we don't really care. Alright, so we're going to refresh cover with Wilhelm. And I believe the Sephiroths are still imbued with Holy this turn. They are. So we're going to go ahead and just chain them on Typhon. We're still trying to kill him as quickly as possible. We got to do it before turn 7. And this is the reason I wanted the Sephiroths on Diablos for the Demon Killer, to help speed up the Typhon kill. Alright, so Fina is going to give us a... We're not going to do mana regen because we don't really need it right now. So we're just going to do resistance and a prime heal. That's going to cure all of C card's ailments. And we will let's see. We'll do a resist buff and a stat buff. We just did mitigation, and we're just going to guard Sieg. Now Wilhelm's not fully healed, but he will regenerate at the end of the round. So we sealed Typhon with Holy Element that turn, which was good. Oh, every 4th turn, the boss will dispel your Provoker. Another reason passive Provoke is very, very helpful. So Seaguard got dispelled there, but and he lost all his buffs, which is another reason you want to kind of defend when possible. And here's the gravity attack. Okay, so we've got 2 more turns to kill the boss. No, 3 more turns before that fire attack comes. Now, if the fire attack does come, it's not too big of a deal because we've got fire resist from Fina. But you know, I do want to avoid that if possible. So we're going to go ahead and seal wind. The seal goes from wind to earth. From earth to wind to holy, and then repeating. So, but Sephiroths did lose their imbue, so we're going to imbue holy again, and then keep chaining holy. Now, Sephiroths do when they're enhanced, they've got an ability to unlock dual cast or triple cast. I'm not going to use that because I'm trying to keep it somewhat close to what global is kind of like when this comes out. All right, let's go ahead and chain. And then now we're imbued. Alright, excellent. We'll just keep guarding Sieg. Fina will heal us. And re-raise on Wilhelm. Did a whole lot of damage there. I'm not sure what Nicole did last. We'll just do mitigation, and we don't need water resist right now because we're not taking too much damage. So we'll just give stats again for the regeneration. Alright, so that was wind we sealed. As long as we keep sealing the proper elements, Typhon will not snort anyone out of the team, and he won't instant death anyone. Now, if you don't seal his elements properly, he will do that. It's very important to keep that in mind. Alright, so we're almost on turn 7. We're actually cutting it kind of close with double Sephiroth. Now, of course, you've got better DPS. Killing Typhon by turn 7 won't be a problem. But Sephiroth's a little bit outdated, but that's okay. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and chain here. See what kind of damage we can deal. Alright, so we're going to get him real close to dead, but not quite. Alright, next turn. Wilhelm's cover, I think, has another turn. I don't remember, so I'm going to go ahead and cover and guard. Fina is going to resistance and prime heal us. Nicole did mitigation last turn, so this turn we're going to resist. And we're going to do a good stat buff. No, we're not. We're not ready yet. We're just going to regeneration then. Alright, so I'm fairly sure Wilhelm countered on Typhon and sealed him. If not, they're actually going to eject Seaguard. But it's not too big a deal if he gets ejected, because we're still covering. No, okay, so Wilhelm must have countered, because Seaguard didn't get ejected. Yeah, so Wilhelm sealed with a counter. You know, it's better to not rely on counters for sealing, and it's better to do it manually, but that's okay. Alright, so this is the turn 7. This is the turn where the boss would use the fire attack. But we're going to thankfully kill the boss Typhon right here on turn 7 before that happens. Now just once again, if you can't kill him by the 7th turn, you need fire resist on your entire team. Fire and wind, actually. It's actually fire plus wind. But we've got Typhon dead right here. So this is, you know, he dies. There we go. Beautiful. Alright. And Typhon was the one using these ailment imperils on Seaguard. So because Typhon's dead, all these ailment imperils are going to wear off, and Seaguard will stop being like paralyzed and all that stuff. Because Typhon cannot, or Ultros cannot do that. So let's do this, and let's re-raise on Wilhelm. Nicole will, I guess, resist, and, oh, I don't know, mana regen, why not? Alright, So now we're going to start working on Ultros. Now Ultros is very similar to the first phase for the first 50%. Actually, I believe he's identical for the first 50%. I'm double checking his wiki page that I made. I've got a little chart here. Yes, actually, yeah. So for the first 50%, Ultros is identical to how he was in the first phase, on the first battle. All right. So the boss is currently resisting Holy, and I think we're actually imbued with Holy for one more turn. Oh, did it wear off? It wore off. Perfect. So we're going to swap back to Supremacy with the Sephiroths for chaining on Ultros. Yeah. So like I mentioned, and of course our stacks aren't built yet because we just started using that ability. We've got to build up the stacks to do good damage again. But I'm going to fast forward the video until Phase 2 Ultros is at 50% or close to it. Because this fight is, again, identical to the Phase 1. You're just going through the immunities. He does his 6-turn rotation. So I'll see you when the boss is closer to 50%. Alright guys, it's been quite a few turns. Sephiroth is not the best DPS for this, but anyway. So now we're going to be pushing the boss below 50%. So really the fight doesn't change too much. The only difference is, at this point, the boss will begin using lightning attacks as well. He'll be using million volts every other turn or so, every third turn maybe, I forget. I actually don't have the page open right now to see. That's really the only difference. Oh, and he'll be doing the haste thing as well, like the haste with the extra tentacle attacks. And I probably should have looked to see what turn he's going to be doing that, but whatever. We'll deal with it. Alright, so there's the million volt, like I mentioned, the lightning attack. And then the gravity at the end of the round. And he heals himself, of course. But we'll knock him back below 50 again. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and keep chaining. Keep pushing the boss. I think this might be the turn that he does the tentacle attack. So I'm going to go ahead and guard Wilhelm. And let's do that. Let's re-raise Wilhelm as well. Oh, one more thing is he'll begin using a wind and water attack at the end of the round that he does haste. That also does all status effects. So you might see Sephiroth get, like, slept or something because my Sephiroths are not, or neither one of them are actually fully immune to all elements, or all ailments. Again, Folka is a better choice, or someone else like Sylvie is a new global unit that can do the same thing. But a way to resist all ailments is helpful. So actually it wasn't that turn. So I'm going to go ahead and attack again, because I actually want to show that turn. I'm not going to go the whole way, because the fight's a little bit slow. But let's go ahead and guard them again. And then we'll do our buffs with Fina. Oh, and below 40, he'll begin Berserking C-Card again. But as you notice, all C-Card's doing is guarding every single turn. So Berserk or not, we don't really care. He's just passively provoking. And you'll notice all the mana drains, the single target mana drains, are going to C-Card as well. Which is that's a big reason you want a passive provoker. Like, you'll notice C-Card's getting all his mana drained every single turn. I mean, you could do that with a regular tank instead of a passive provoker. Okay, so here's this, and he's probably going to do a lightning attack and the wind attack. No, he didn't do it? Okay, I'm going to keep recording until he does it. Alright, so physical resist, so 2 more turns we can't hurt the boss. So we'll just put Sephiroth on healing, so he doesn't lose his stacks. Wilhelm's got to cover again. Guard Sieg. And we'll just heal with Fina. All of Nicole's doing is keeping on mitigation and stats and health regen. Nicole, very honestly, is probably not the best choice here. On my global clear, I might drop Nicole for a different support. I'm not sure yet. Because, well, then again, Fina's doing her resist buff. Yeah, we'll see. I haven't really planned out my global team quite yet. But here's the lightning attack. Again, just wear some lightning resist and you're no problem. And here's the attack that does all the ailments. Okay. So you notice the Sephiroth's got petrified slept, etc. That's because they're not immune to all ailments. The rest of the team is wearing like ribbons and such, and because Typhon's dead, the rest of the team is still immune to all ailments. So I mean that's not a problem with Fina because Fina can just cure it, or you could just wear ailment immunity on the whole team if you're not using Fina with Prime Heal. All right, let's go ahead and guard Wilhelm. Oh, the boss is still immune, so we'll just do that and that. We can attack next turn. And there we go. Yeah, so that attack will happen every third turn on the second phase. And this is pretty much the fight. The fight no longer changes anymore. Below 40, the only difference is he'll begin to berserk your provoke tank. So just use this. Just make it easier on yourself and use a secondary tank. If you don't have passive provoke, you can use an active provoke and just cast it whenever. Like Bart would be not terrible because his is 5 turn duration, I think. Or is that only enhanced? I don't know. But you get the idea. So let's go ahead and chain, the usual. We'll cover, do that. Fina will heal. And now below 40%, the boss will start doing Berserk on Sieg, but we don't really care because he's just passively provoking anyway. And they're draining all the mana from my Sephiroths. Yeah, there's the water and wind attacks. Just wear resistance, use resistance buffs, and these attacks aren't that bad. I think he's gonna do lightning this turn as well, maybe. No, he didn't, but he berserked Seaguard, and then counterattacked with Wilhelm, but whatever. All right, Wilhelm will guard because I think this is the haste turn, and we'll just chain with the Cephs. All right, so after this turn, I'll go ahead and stop the video here because I mean the fight's the exact same. There's no reason for me to show me getting the boss all the way to 0 because nothing else changes. This is the fight. Yeah, I'll show. I believe this is the turn he's going to do the status ailment attack again. There's magnitude 8. There's aqua breath. There's toxic rain. Or acid rain. I think this is toxic rain coming in at the end of the turn. Or 1,000,000 volts, hailstone. Oh, haste. And more attacks. And toxic rain. Oh, killed a Sephiroth. And a Seaguard. Alright, so make sure your Sephiroths or your DPS are more tanky than mine. I mean, it's not really a problem. Fina can fix it. So, Fina would just heal. And do that. Well, actually, Fina can't do that on global quite yet. But you get the idea. And whatever, we would just cover and just keep going with the buffs. So this is the fight. So this fight should be coming to global. Should be this month. Global does switch things around every now and then, so we'll see. But I will see you guys soon.